Ahoy! We're going to be talking about sound and water today. I've talked about this before. I even made a whole film called Psychedelica, and Psychedelica is the Greek term for cymatics, which is the interplay between sound and matter. And in fact, all matter is subtle variations of vibrations. What we're going to be talking about today is really exciting, but it's also for a reason that may be less exciting. I'm going to be talking about how to make sure that the water that you're drinking is actually good for your body, good for your health, and that you have some kind of a relationship with it before, during, and after consumption. The reason why is because if you've been paying attention, there have been several toxic spills, explosions, clouds, and yes, these spills have gotten into river systems like the Ohio River, of which, even though it is almost 1,000 miles away, it still reaches down to where I live, just south of Nashville. The reason why I want to talk about this is because we're living in interesting times. At first, I was looking at all these toxic plumes and really thinking that I haven't ever heard of this many train derailments, trucks tipping over with toxic chemicals in them, fires, at plastic plants, uranium plants, explosions at 3 Pemex headquarters, 1 in Mexico, 2 in Texas, all within the same couple days. There is the East Palestine train derailment. There's the Springfield train derailment. There's the Chicago Heights building explosion. There's a train derailment in Port of Catoosa, Oklahoma. There's another one in Kentucky. There was another one in Michigan just after East Palestine. A house exploded in Maryland. And almost all of these leave some kind of a huge black plume in the sky, which is normal for a fire. But the interesting thing is, aside from the fact that there was this movie based in Ohio called White Noise that came out last year, and it was all about this toxic airborne event from a train derailment, and this black toxic cloud goes up into the sky, and everyone has to get evacuated. They're put into FEMA camps. The FEMA camps are running a simulation at the same time as there being an actual real-life event of the exact same nature. And also, at the same time, they were talking about unidentified flying objects in the sky. It was all over the news in that movie at the same time as this toxic airborne event. And if you realize that at the exact same time as East Palestine toxic airborne event, there's a lot of this talk of these balloons, these unidentified balloons that the U.S. military spent a lot of money to shoot down. Actually, one of the missiles missed, and that was $400,000. They missed the target. I don't say this to bring up any light towards it. And actually, I'm not even saying that this is above and beyond normal. I made a post on Instagram where I said, how many coincidences does it have to take before people start saying this is complicated? It's complicated, like the relationship status. And a lot of people, probably just because of who I am, they were like, Ben, this is no conspiracy. And I said, I never said it was a conspiracy. And everyone's like, Ben, this is completely normal. There are 1,700 train derailments a year. And I'm like, for one, it's closer to 1,000. For two, it doesn't matter which of those numbers you believe. That should not be normal. But we are living in a very complex society. Our railways have Civil War era breaks. And this doesn't have to be a conspiracy for it to be something that we want to be aware of. So I'm trying to bring light to a situation that is quite interesting, peculiar, and could potentially be toxifying your drinking water.